How many of you are familiar with the song Don't Stop Believin' by Journey, or have seen movies like Titanic or Beauty and the Beast? Pretty much everyone. Media and culture are completely tied, especially in the West, and that is why, for my capstone speech, I decided to explore the concept that although morality in media has gone downhill in a way that can be potentially damaging to society, the truths of God can still be found in the midst of it. The first thing to talk about is the importance of media and culture. These two things are incredibly tied together, and they speak so much about each other. What's going on in media and what we're engaging in media speaks to where we are as a culture, what we value, what we like, what we don't like, what we think is right and what is wrong, and so on and so forth. And media is everywhere. That's essential, is that we are intaking media constantly, all the time, even in ways that we don't think we're taking in media. Unfortunately, there has been a deterioration in media over the last few decades, starting from a legal standpoint with us tweaking laws to allow things to be produced in media that weren't allowed before. And we as a society now are becoming more relaxed about what we view as crossing the line or as inappropriate. And that is pushing forward this kind of morally unsavory agenda. A quote I found in my research was talking about how the perception of the viewer is what counts. So what a person creating media puts out there is fine. And if we take something bad from it or we get influenced poorly from it, then that's on us, not on the creators of media. And unfortunately, this is a very common opinion, which is why so many producers of movies and television and music say, I can put out whatever I want, you don't have to engage in it, or if you took something bad from that, that's your fault, rather than accepting the responsibility of, their inappropriateness or them putting out something that isn't beneficial to people. Because of this, pop culture can influence us on so many levels, whether it be our views on violence, sexuality, politics. It even has legal consequences, and so on and so forth. And because it affects so many areas, we're seeing the fruits of that come out in different ways. We're seeing, violence. Like, there's been debates about whether violence on video games or in films is affecting the violence that we see in our actual society. The over-sexualization of young people and how much sex is on television and in music that influences young people in a way where we're seeing a rise in unwanted teen pregnancies, or experimentation that's damaging spiritually, emotionally, physically, and just these skewed views of these things in life due to what they see on television. Keith Tester, in his piece Compassion, Morality, and the Media, writes, in other words, Western audiences are able to forget about whole swaths of the world so long as they are not seen or known, meaning that as a society in the West, we tend to get so focused on what we're doing that we can shut out the opinions of the rest of the world and lose sight of what other people are saying in regards to certain topics. And this can be a big problem because then you lose the accountability that you have with other human beings about what they think is right and wrong, because we just completely go our own way and we don't allow those other views to really penetrate our collective psyche. But the benefit and the good news is that the truth of God can be found in everything. And because we are His creation, we emanate His truth from ourselves. And therefore, even people who aren't intending to show God or demonstrate God do so in the media all the time. Even people who are trying to do the exact opposite are demonstrating God all the time. And it's incredibly great to see how we can find pieces of God and pieces of truth in our media, and how we as Christians can really help others understand who God is through that connection. And in part 2 of my speech, I will dive into the different types of media and how God can be found in them.